June 24th, 2019, Monday. It's 9:49 and 49 seconds p.m. I'm Zon. Thank you. I'm Zon Martin. I can't even say my fucking name right. Zon Martin Richardson, and you are?
Jamie Robin Richardson, and we're here with Beans Love Richardson, our canine companion hero. And we were just having a quick little debate there tonight. We weren't even necessarily going to do a segment.
Yes, segment.
Tonight. And then we just started kind of talking to ourselves, and we're like, well, we might as well hit the recorder, Anyway, we don't know if this is going to be a long one or maybe just a short one. We don't know what the hell we're doing here. As we
never know that.
Right. But we just started talking about, like, people, and I know it's a stupid, overdone subject, probably, but people in relationships, and Zon was kind of talking. What are you saying?
I was just saying, like, there is once in a while the thought of getting back out there, not really, I don't know. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then Jamie pointed out that, at the end of the night, what'd you say?
Well, the end of the night doesn't seem like we want to do that anyway. I mean, the idea, it's one of those things where the idea of it sounds kind of maybe better than the reality.
Yeah, maybe.
And then we started thinking about, well, why do people do it, I think it's because, not all of them, but I think some people are kind of insecure, and that's why they feel like they need to have some kind of relationship. They got to have a significant other human or something, one of those deals in their life, because and maybe it's just what they've heard, what society tells them,
Yeah. Sometimes people just, I think maybe, could always be wrong, but maybe people just think that because this is what you're supposedly supposed to do, and there's, that they think they have to do it. And, maybe they just, I think some people do it because they can't come up with their own entertainment. They can't entertain themselves. And it's,
Well, yeah, but it's not that they necessarily couldn't. I just think some people just don't know that. I think everyone's capable of doing that one way or another, They just haven't, maybe that thought hasn't occurred to them, or it has, but they just don't think they can do it. But I really think people can do that, It's just, you gotta just figure out something you like, or even if it's not necessarily something that costs money either, just some thoughts in your head, or write poems, or pen and paper's all you need. You know what I mean? Just and we brought this up already, I think, but just I think it's good to come up with at least some of your own entertainment. And I don't know. That's pretty much all my thought on that, Zon.
Yeah, I guess so. I think we covered it.
Yeah, and and we thought there's been a lot of times where we get in a talking to ourselves thing here, and the recorder isn't going. So it's like, we've done this before though too. I think we've had some sudden recordings that we weren't really planning on. Some nights we think, yeah, let's do that, and some nights we weren't even thinking about it, and then we just started, like you said, talking to ourselves, and it's like, well, fuck, let's start recording, right? Yeah, and it's kind of how we do the music too. It's how we do all this shit, all this audio stuff. Pretty damn much all of it is, I guess you could say it's all nonlinear, like Jahevi talking about nonlinear with the music. But I think the same goes with these, probably even more so with these things, because we don't plan this shit out. We just try to think of shit to talk about. But sometimes we're already, like you said, we're already kind of got some thoughts going, and it's like, well, fuck it, might as well do another chapter here, right? So here we are.
Here we are, yes. And so we're gonna, I think we already rolled this song last night, but who gives a fuck?
I don't.
Good, neither do I.
That's good. Glad we're both in agreement there.
All right, let's just roll it.
Go for it, man. Oh, do it like an intro.
Okay, yes, we are HeelerZ. We already introduced ourselves, but this is segment June 24th, and we'll probably get this whole thing done before 12, so this will be, it's actually earlier. Usually we start these things later. And
you should mention the beer count too, because it's low.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the beer count is actually less than 1 right now. We're just still on our first 1, which is really rare. Usually, even on some of those lighter nights, we started with like 2, and a lot of them we started 4, 5, 6. We got a few where we had 5 or 6 in us before we even started.
Yeah, and sometimes we don't get rolling good until we've had more. But we just thought we'd try this, and see how we do with less than 1. But we are gonna. I think we should chug. There's not a whole lot left of that. So that first one's on. We should chug it and grab another one and let the song go.
Okay. So yes, HeelerZ June 24th, 2019 segment of HeelerZ. Want to get beer.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn this light off.
Okay. Can you turn the other lights on, those Christmas lights?
Yeah. Pretty sure we did this song last night.
No, we talked about that already. Who cares?
I don't know. Nobody.
Well, look at like TV shows and shit, They start off with the same song every damn episode,
That's true. They usually don't play the whole thing, though.
Yeah, that's true. Who cares, though, man, How many people listen to this shit anyway? Who cares?
I don't. You're right. I don't care. I care about very little.
Shut up and let the song play, man.
All right.
Let's get a little buzz going here and get it rolling here, okay?
All right, we'll try. I know for a fact we played that song last night because I remember hitting the pause just in time, because Not to Be Human comes up right in, there's no space in between,
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, it's the song's 401, but you have to stop it like right at 4 on the button.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about tonight, huh? Anything in particular? You want to just sit here and drool at the
Drool at the wall?
How'd you know what I was gonna say?
Gee, I don't know, Jamie.
Okay. Well, you know what we could do is just do a few of these things and, piece them together. Maybe we could how about this? Why don't we could stop now and we'll do 10 or 15 minutes at a time after each beer we have, we'll stop. We just got the one in. We just started beer count 2, by the way. And we'll wait till we're finished with that beer. And then we'll come back and do another 10 or 15 and just piece them all together. See how much it changes.
Guess we could do that.
Why not? Right now I can't think of really anything to fucking talk about anyway. You want to just try that?
We could.
And if we don't come back to it, we don't come back to it. Who gives a fuck?
That's true.
Okay. I got a burp. Can you do that?
Yeah.
That's a nice little picture there.
Yep. Okay. All right. Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, let's try that, like you said, and we'll sit here a few minutes, drink another beer, see if we get a little better buzz going here, and then if we start thinking of shit, then let's get on it.
Exactly. And I said exactly.
I know. I heard you. It was audible.
Okay, so this is what should we call this? The whole thing's called a segment? Actually, these would be segments on the whole hour 20 or however long it is.
We just call them chapters. The whole thing's a segment. We'll call this a chapter of the whole segment. I know that doesn't make sense because segments are kind of like chapters too, I guess. But who cares, right?
Yeah, we can make up our own rules. It doesn't fucking matter.
All right. I don't know. You want to do that or just keep going?
Well, if you got something to say, man, we keep going. But if not, let's just stop and see what happens, okay?
All right, let's try it. All right, so this was chapter 1 of segment June 24th, 2019, right?
Yes, and we'll be right back after no messages.
pieceS segment, chapter 2. It's now 10:28 and 3 seconds p.m. on Monday, June 24th, 2019.
And what have we learned so far, Zahn?
Well, we learned that what we're going to call this thing, which is pieceS segment, or something like that, or progressive pieceS segment, maybe.
Yeah, either pieceS segment or progressive pieceS segment. Tonight we're going to try to get this all done, before 12, so it's all in one day at least. But we're going to take pauses. We're going to drink one beer during our pause and then come back and see what we talk about during that, after the next beer. So you actually won't hear us probably drinking any beer except for maybe that first, I don't even know if did we record us cracking any beers open so far?
I don't know. But, so what did we do during our pause?
Well, we kind of took the pause, took the break, went on Facebook. For some reason today, the whole thread on Facebook today, just by everybody, everybody's posts and just everything we've seen in there is just weird, just weird, kind of nonsense making. It's just kind of an abstract thread going on tonight. I don't mean a thread of just one thing, but just the whole scrolling down of everything we've seen, just weird shit. I don't know, just a lot of nonsense making, or at least nonsense making to us. I don't know.
Yeah. And then we saw this one post from a friend of ours. We won't mention her name, but her name's Michelle. We know a couple of Michelles on here. I'm there. This is one of them. And we won't mention last names because we really won't do that. But we really will mention first names.
Yeah. Okay, so our friend Michelle, one of our friends, Michelle, posted this. It says, I will uncousin a cousin so fast. Ask my cousin. Damn it.
Let's try it again.
Sorry. Okay, it says, I will uncousin a cousin so fast. Ask my ex-cousin.
Right. And so we put a comment on there, which is of some real shit that happened. Well, I'll just read it. Or do you want to?
Well, you do it.
Yeah, but you're better with the narrative voice.
I know, but we might roll that thing later. You know?
Oh, yeah.
So you could do this one.
Thanks.
I didn't mean to make it sound like I was giving you permission. I mean, do whatever you want, man. Just take a turn, that's all. I'm trying to be fair.
I gotcha.
Go ahead.
All right, so this is what we wrote back. We liked it, and then we wrote this. Had to do that a long time ago after catching the fuck, I gotta start over. Damn it, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. I had to do it too.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Don't be sorry you're sorry. Just start over.
All right. Here goes. Had to do that a long time ago after catching an ex-cousin and the ex-wife making out 7 months into the marriage, who was also the best man at the wedding. That marriage was doomed from the start.
Yeah, so we did that, and obviously that's some real shit. So do whatever you want with that, I guess.
Right. You know what sucks? I kind of want to have another beer already.
Well, who's to say we can't?
Well, if we're going to do like a one beer at a time thing here.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, this is kind of an experiment. We've never done it in quite this fashion before, so let's just go with it, you know? We've been trying to do some new things in the last week or two. Just some new, I don't know if creative's the right word. I mean, we're trying to be creative, but I don't know if it's fair to call it creative because I don't know if it's any good, what we do, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like we're saying we're being creative, but then it ends up sucking, so was that really creative?
Yeah, exactly. And yes, exactly. How many times I gotta point that out?
You don't have to point it out at all.
Thanks, man. Okay, so anyway, we'll just do it like that. We'll see, you know, we'll do like a 12 or so minute thing here and then stop, drink another beer. I don't know. Does that mean we just gotta like stop and chug a beer then? Or is that how we're gonna do it? Instead of like gradually drinking it?
I guess so. We might as well, I guess, just kind of do that. And even if we chug the beers, we're still, you know, taking like 12-minute pauses in between them, so we're still kind of spacing it out, you know.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of the same thing but kind of different too, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, my other question would be, are we gonna hit any of that greeny stuff or maybe grayy stuff? Because it's kind of mostly just resin anymore here, at least for the moment.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know. I guess at some point we're probably gonna try some of that. So.
Yeah. I got a burp, man.
Okay, so do I. Here we go. Brr.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jesus.
I'm sorry, I know I'm not the singer.
Well, it's not that you've never been the singer. I mean, you've done some tracks.
Yeah, I have. Oh, and I almost forgot we were going to play a tune here. That's another thing. We're going to try to play one song for every one of these, right? Except maybe for the last one, because the last one's going to end up being shorter. We're doing like 12-minute pieces, roughly 12 minutes. And that's going to leave just a little bit of time left, you know. So we're going to do like 6 of these, which will, 72 minutes. And they might go a little over 12, so we might be looking more at like 73, 4, whatever minutes. We're going to try to leave a good like 6 minutes towards the end, though, because we're going to have a little thing. The plan is we're going to play a piece by us both, but narrated by Jamie about a dream we actually had last week. We thought we might include that in, and, you know,
Yeah, and what Zon's talking about there is another thing we were kind of starting to kind of try to work on. Because, we got done with Tempo of the Night, and I think we're at a point right now where we're just a little bit burned out trying to do new songs. So that's why, obviously for one reason, we took a return back to our bullshitting segment thingies here. Take a little break from doing songs. But at the same time, we still have some ideas in mind for a possible new album. But we have some really abstract ideas for that. I'm not saying they're great ideas because they're abstract. They just really are kind of abstract, right?
Yeah. We had this idea of maybe we might write a few songs, but then do just some narrative. Almost, we were thinking about basically doing kind of a spoken word / music album. A few songs and then spoken word pieces in between or something, and just kind of display some of our writings. And some of that was just our thoughts on. A lot of it's, I don't know. So far, we only did one of them, right?
Yeah.
But we thought about writing about whenever we have one of these crazy dreams. We have a lot of dreams. We talked about this since we had the reduction in smoking. There's been a lot more dreaming. And we dream just about every time we sleep. But every once in a while, we have a real doozy of a dream. So much shit going on. So we're thinking about, we may not write about every dream we have, but some of these ones that are a little more crazy, we're thinking about trying to write them and then have Jamie, do it.
Get up.
Thank you. I snored a little. But we're thinking about just doing the, writing it out and then having Jamie do the narrative and then just doing some spoken word pieces in between it. A couple of songs maybe might come down the road. I don't know. We kind of
have that other song, kind of just noise piece thing. We call it Dark, right?
Yeah, the name of the album might be Dark. So far, that's just our first idea of that.
Yeah. So just really quick here, Zon, getting back to that whole bad marriage, getting cheated on thing. Didn't we have a song lined up for that?
Yes, we did, and here it is. Let me make sure the volume's good. Okay, here we go. The left speaker's going here again. We're kind of fucked on the stereo.
Yeah, but it's too late now, man. We're in a time frame.
Yeah. This is called Boom Didn't Need You. It's off HeelerZ album called Diary of Diarrhea from 2015.
Yeah, beloved title.
Yes. And this is basically this is about our dog Boone and our other dogs, and it's kind of about the ex, how she left, and but we kind of we ended up surviving without her basically. At first we didn't think we would, but then we did. So that's kind of what this song's about. But it's dedicated to our beloved.
Get up.
Thanks. Beloved Boone. And also Keisha and Fishy and the plants and basically all the life that she left here. And, for her to go on with whatever the fuck she did after that.
Yeah.
Mood That Needs You by HeelerZ. Off Diary of Diarrhea from 2015. And we're running a little late on this one, so we're going to end chapter 2 of this segment, right?
Yes, we've decided that's what we're calling.
Yes. So that was chapter 2 of tonight, and we'll be right back after no messages. Okay, this is chapter 3 of the pieceS segment for June 24th, Monday, 2019. At 11:01 and 13 seconds p.m. And, well, what did we learn this time?
Well, first of all, we've learned that this is taking forever to do, so we wanted to get this done. I mean, we got less than an hour to go before it's tomorrow, before it's midnight. So, I mean, we could spill into the next day. It's not the first time that's happened, but the thing is that, I don't know, what we're learning is that the way we're doing this is kind of, the thing is we're doing like 12, 14 minutes, whatever, and then we're going back and listening, and it's just taking forever. So we don't know. So what are we going to do now?
Well, we're going to change the rules a little bit. First of all, instead of drinking a beer and doing a segment and then drink a chapter, whatever, and, you know, and then drink another beer, instead of doing that, we're going to just drink the beer while we're doing it. And then when we're done, you know, we'll take another little break. But we're probably going to chug them a little quicker here because, first of all, we're only on 2 beers now. And if we stretch it out, I mean, this thing is going to take fucking 3 hours to do. So we're actually going to drink them a little faster and see what happens here and see how, you know, it's kind of it'll kind of show us how much more we slur or, you know, if we do.
Yeah, well, it is kind of good that it's kind of showing us, you know, whether or not things change with the more beers we drink. And usually, like we mentioned earlier, we usually drink a few before we even start, and then we sip on like 1.5 through the whole thing. You know, some of these are 80 minutes long, and we may not drink more than a beer and a half in 80 minutes, but we already have a few in us first. Whereas tonight, we first started, we hadn't even finished our first beer. And then we did segment 2, or chapter 2, and had another beer. So anyway, why don't we crack that beers on, because we're going to just drink the beer while we do this instead of while we're pausing, because...
Yeah, because, as I mentioned earlier, it's like, man, I'm missing another, you know, once we get going, you know, we're the kind of drinker, I mean, we don't drink all day long, we're not, you know, we're hardly day drinkers, I mean, you know, like, that happens a couple times a year, but we don't really do that. We're pretty much just night drinkers. But once we get drinking, we don't like to take pauses. And once the beer's empty, we like to pretty much get another one right away, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to just drink this sucker, but we're going to drink it kind of fast. Because, you know, like I said, like we both said.
Yeah, both of us.
We're only 2 beers in. It's now 11:04 on the button p.m. So we kind of have to speed it up anyway. So why don't we just do that? Let's crack the beer here.
Okay.
And let's chug at least a good portion of this right now. Here we go.
Oh, man.
What?
First of all, I got a burp. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Thanks. What I was going to say is, God, that beer was so cold, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another problem. Maybe we should leave a couple out so they're not so cold and we can chug them a little faster. That's something, you know, we don't normally drink. We usually like our beer cold. There's certain countries, I think Germany there's certain countries where a lot of people prefer drinking their beer warm, actually, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I guess it's something you could get used to. Maybe even like, I mean, does it, you know, when they say warm, does that mean like room temperature warm, or like actually they heat it up?
I don't know. And as Stephen Wright said, it makes no difference what temperature a room is. It's always room temperature.
Yeah. Yeah, that dude is funny as fuck and very witty.
Yes, he is.
All right, let's do another chug. We got to do it fast, so we'll chug we'll have a few sips until it gets too cold. We'll take a little minute pause for our throat to thaw out again, right?
Yeah.
and then we'll just chug it again right away. That's probably the best way to do it.
All right. So as we said, we're changing the rules because we can and we don't care.
Right.
All right, here we go. That also raises the question of whether or not we should hit some of that resin. Like, we got to burp.
God. It seems like we're burping more and more. Like, maybe this should just be the burp sessions, huh? Pretty soon, we're going to just run out of shit to talk about completely, and all we're going to do is just have an hour of us recording our burps.
Yeah. And, and we talked about this maybe at least a year ago on one of our things here, that maybe we should bring farts back. We used to... Why not?
Well, I guess.
People do it. We're not going to pretend we don't fart. We used to do that when we were kids. That was, when you're 10 years old or something, that's one of the funniest things in the world to do is get a tape recorder and record your farts.
Yeah, but the only thing is, this, and back then, I mean, we didn't think so much about germs and just about how certain things are gross. Not so much the sound of the fart, but the fact that we would hold the microphone right up to our ass. I mean, we had pants on, but still, we were farting right into that poor microphone, and I just feel so bad for the microphone now,
Yeah, no shit.
And maybe we just shouldn't do that. I mean, we're not gonna do it like that now. If we blow a fart, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're already burping on here, so we might as well, I feel like for some reason farts are grosser than burping, but I guess it's all gross.
Yeah, pretty much. It's really the same thing. Hold on.
God, burp session. Maybe chapter 3 should, well, no. Let's say chapter 3 could be the burp chapter, but it won't be the only one.
No, not at all. We'll cover a lot of burping.
Yeah, so, yeah, the thing is, we used to, put the microphone right on our butt and fart. And it's like, that poor microphone. And plus you're getting, you're actually getting, germs, invisible germs on the microphone. So if we do end up recording fart noises, we're at least not going to put the microphone right up there. And plus the microphone we're using is actually our cam thing. It's a computer camera that we use probably for a microphone more than the camera, though.
Yeah. Well, we use the camera. We take, pictures of beans and stuff, but it's, it's always the same scene because it's... Well, this one actually isn't stationary. It's on a wire, so we can move it around a little bit. Our old iMac that we had up until 2 years ago, we had to replace it with this mini Mac. That had a built-in one, so it was more stationary. But we have our monitors actually on this little turntable thing, so we can swivel it around a little bit. But basically, most of the pictures that we take anyone that looks at our Facebook page will see if we post them on there. Most of what you see is the same room, this front room that we sit in here, and it's mostly pictures of beans or sometimes just a picture of the room, pictures of that.
But never pictures of us.
Well, no, because that's impossible. But we have no face. Jamie and Zahn do not have faces. They only have voices.
Right. And we aim to keep that way.
Yeah, and it won't be hard. All we have to do is not do it.
Right. And that won't be hard to do because we're paranoid to do that anyway.
Yeah, and plus it's not Jamie and Zahn. We can't show those faces because they don't exist. I mean, we're not in favor of showing the fuckers, the one who does the voices. That just doesn't... that is not going to look like Jamie and Zahn. That's not going to make sense.
Yes, and plus, there's all that camera fear shit, so we just avoid videos, that kind of thing. But we like audio. We like doing the audio.
Right.
All right, we're already 9 minutes in. I think it's starting to flow a little better, Zahn. I think maybe the beers are working. Let's chug a little more of it.
Yes, good idea.
Yeah, I think this might be a better idea. Why don't we just do this and, I think, we could still split it up, but I think we should not take too long of a pause. Like, let's not even fucking listen to the last one. Let's just take the QuickTime file, throw it into the Logic, and then we'll start the next one, you know?
Yeah. We'll just pay attention to how much time we add and...
Yeah. We'll just do it that way. Okay, so do you want to roll that song?
Yeah. That's another thing. That's the one thing we'll do during our pauses. We'll just pick the next song. We'll just spend a couple of minutes instead of like 15, you know?
Yeah, so we have to speed this up. And I don't think we're going to make it to, we're not going to be able to get this done before midnight, man. Unless it's a shorter thing, you know, I don't think we're going to, shit, I'm losing my train of thought, man. I guess the beers are starting to work, eh?
Yeah, we haven't even hit the green shit, or the grayish, blackish resin shit yet.
Right.
That's kind of an experiment, too. We haven't had any of that at all yet today. Just beer, and we're only on beer 3. We're on beer like 2.5 at this point. And yeah, I'm starting to get buzzed. I guess we both are.
Yeah, that's the only way it would really work.
Right. But drinking sometimes makes for conversation, and I think we mentioned this yesterday. You know, a lot of times writers become drinkers, drinkers become writers. It's probably drinkers become writers even more than writers become drinkers. Well, maybe both. I don't know.
Yeah. Technically, we probably wrote shit. I mean, like back in grade school, we liked to write short stories back then. We were kind of into that back then. So, and that was long before we drank beers every night. So, I guess maybe we were. And I'm not saying we're a writer, as in we're good at it, but maybe we were, just for the sake of this topic right now, we were a writer that became a drinker. And
yeah, and wrote more. Yeah.
Do you want to give me? Damn it.
Get up, get up.
Get up, get up. All right, we both did it. Now it's even.
Yes. Let's roll that song. We're already almost 12 minutes in. This is starting to flow a lot easier now.
Yeah, and I guess that's something we're finding out by trying to split it up here, is that it's getting easier at this point. Okay, we're going to roll a song called Sick. Now, this is it's technically by HeelerZ, but this was a pre-HeelerZ, before we call ourselves HeelerZ. This song goes back to, around, what do you think, sound like 2009-ish?
Yeah, it's probably a good 10 years old.
Okay, this is a song called Sick. And it's supposed to sound like some demented, sick person, but musically it's supposed to sound that way, but the lyrics are really just about somebody who, was at work and started to not feel good. And with a cold or maybe a flu, and that's really all it's about. It's really just, we wrote about even actually dumber shit then than we do now, probably.
Probably, yeah. All right, we're already almost 13 minutes in. You know what? These pieces are getting longer. Every one we do is getting longer.
Yeah. And we still have to roll the song. So, yeah, you're right. So, okay, I'll roll it.
All right, let's go.
We're going to take a bathroom break, so we apologize if you hear the toilet.
No, we don't. We like when they hear the toilet.
That's true. Okay, let's go. Okie dokie.
There you have it. That was called Sick.
Yes, and you'll notice that that was we mentioned this earlier, son, that you have done vocals before.
Well, yeah. Well, basically, that song was, as we said, 10 years ago, about 10 years ago, and that was before the Jamie and Zahn voices were really developed. But I guess that voice was probably really a prelude to the Zahn voice. That was actually even before we ever heard Electric Six, and that's how the Zahn voice got invented, was because we were trying to sound like Dick Valentine from Electric Six, and it didn't really work out, but it ended up sounding like this, so this ended up being the Zahn voice. So yeah, that kind of was the Zahn voice, but I think we actually used a pitch shifter in that one. That was probably more the real voice that we have with a pitch shifter to make it sound lower. So that's probably what happened there.
Yes. Okay, so it is time now, man, that we're pushing 18 minutes into this chapter. So as you said, they keep getting longer. We should take a pause. So this has been chapter 3 and also beer 3, right?
Yeah, and as we said, we changed the rules. We're going to drink the beer while we're doing this instead of in between, because that's just taking too much time. And plus, we don't want to wait fucking 12, 15 minutes to drink another beer. If we get going, once we get going, let's go,
Yeah. Okay, so that was it. And we're going to pause for a 0 commercial break right now. And so stay tuned for Beer 4 and Chapter 4. Okay, we are now on Chapter 4 of the pieceS segment for June 24th, 2019. It's Monday. Let's give it a few seconds. It is now 11:29 in the button p.m. We got less than 31 minutes to get this done, which we probably won't do.
Probably not, but, well, maybe. We'll see.
Okay. So anyway, and we're back for whatever the hell we're going to talk about now. We've got a song picked out. Oh, and traditions on Crack That Beer.
Yes, here we go. Take a chunk of that.
Yes. And, do you want to hit some of that resin?
Yeah, I guess we might as well.
Okay. Got a burp.
All right. Or I'll do it.
Thank you.
Got it. Okie dokie. Well, first of all, I guess we'll try and grab that resin and get that going. We can record that sound. We run out of shit to talk about when we just start recording sounds. Like the JOS shit.
Always could. We always could do that.
All right, but yeah. But first of all, we'll start with this sound. Let's get a little bit of this shit in here, and we'll get going on that in just a minute here.
I know we pulled a chunk out of here the other day. We had some friends over, and we were smoking some actual green shit, but we're pretty damn much out of that now, so all we got is resin. But I'm gonna put a chunk of that into our little smoking device here, and we'll get that going.
Yes.
Okay. So we're at chapter 4, right? I didn't fuck that up. Chapter 4.3.
Yes.
So this is chapter 4. This is the first chapter where you'll be hearing this. We don't know where this shit's gonna take us, right? Damn it! This bull always falls over every fucking time.
I know. It's just part of destiny, I guess. It's just never gonna stop happening.
No, at least nothing fell out.
Well, that's good. Usually it does.
Yeah, so we got lucky there. Okay. Jesus. This, I know we say this all the time. I mean, like, I think every time we do something like this, we think, or we say, oh, this is probably the stupidest thing we've ever done. But then, like, the next time we do something, it's stupider than the last thing.
Probably. this is really probably just a big old downward spiral to the end here. This is, this is us just getting worse.
Or maybe better, man. You never know.
Yeah, true.
Gotta stay positive.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the kind of thing we do. Yeah, we write shiny, happy songs and positive lyrics all the time, don't we?
Oh, yeah. We're nothing but sunshine and rainbows here, man.
Yeah. Well, maybe a little rainbow just because that happens after a storm. And our lyrics are probably more full of storms than sunshine and rainbows in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, probably true. This is basically just us, we're probably talking about a bunch of nothing, but the most entertaining thing is probably like them hearing us drinking beer and smoking resin. So that's probably as interesting as all this is going to get tonight, man.
Yes. So once again, here we go with Getting Worse.
Maybe that should be the name of fucking this thing. I know we already picked a title, but, this could also be like the segment of many titles,
Could be, sure.
All right, let's hit this again. And seeing as it's resin, we can, it's not like, it kind of does the job, but it's not like super strong green or nothing. So we can actually hit this thing multiple times because, first of all, it's not as strong. And secondly, resin kind of burns forever. So you actually get a lot out of it. So for those of you, those of you out there that smoke weed, remember, it's always a good idea to save as much of the resin as you can for when you run out, because it does work. It will get you through the day.
Yeah. I mean, even years ago, we used to do that, and even when we used to smoke all, like fucking crazy, and especially because of that, because we smoked so much, we'd run out of it all the time, so we'd have to save our resin.
Yeah, right.
All right, so any of you out there that smoke, it's a good idea, always save your resin as much as you can. It's not bad. It doesn't taste quite as good as the green shut.
Get up.
Thanks. But it works. It works to an extent, at least. It does something.
It does something, yes.
All right. So let's do that. And we got a song lined up. Maybe we'll play that a little bit earlier in this segment. Or chapter, sorry.
Okay. Go ahead, man. Light it up. And yes, that's the fucking train. Jesus Christmas, man. God, I'm surprised we're still alive, or at least I'm surprised we're still halfway sane with that fucking train boom shit going through our head all the fucking time around here.
I know.
I mean, I'm not trying to complain, but we got it pretty damn good here. I try to look at the positive end of things sometimes, believe it or not.
Yes.
But God, that train just drives us fucking insane, man. It's so horrible.
I know, and it's always, well, I was going to say it's always when there's a quiet moment, but that's not necessarily true because the train is just always.
Yeah, they're always there. So we're hearing it because it's a quiet moment, but if we had the music blasting right now, we might not hear it, but it's still fucking there.
Yeah, how many trains have we missed just because we were blasting music?
Yeah, we should blast music more often.
Yeah, no shit.
God, just, jeez Louise, man, give it a fucking rest,
Yeah, right.
Okay, so you want to roll the song?
Okay, yes, this is a song, oddly enough, by HeelerZ. It's called Still the Same. It's off our 2016 album called Live to Tell the Story. And that was this album was a little bit more mellow. It's probably one of the more mellow albums we did. Still a few rockers on there, but some mellow ones too. And actually, I think this is the first song we wrote for the album. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I think we posted like a rougher draft or version of it to our HeelerZ page back then, just to let people know we were starting to work on a new album. But that's the only thing we had. So yeah, you're right. First song we did.
Yeah. Right, it's called Still the Same, and at the time, now this is already almost 3 years ago we did this song. And the idea behind this song was that it was just saying that, well, in all these years, nothing's changed. we're still the same. We're still doing the same thing. We're still just sitting here. We haven't gone out there yet, right?
Yeah. Yeah, now there's another song we did from last year on our Chemistry and Circumstance album. But anyway, about going, people telling us we should get back out there, but we didn't want to get back out there. We stayed in here and wrote that song instead, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in certain ways, we sometimes do think about going out there. It's just that we never do. Or at the end of the night, we kind of, I don't know. It's, you know, I think we mentioned this already. It's kind of like we like the idea of it more than the reality, or...
Yeah, but then again, we wouldn't know anyway, because we just don't try it really much.
Yeah. I mean, tried a little, I guess, but not that much.
Yeah.
So yeah, the song is just about how, oh, we're still the same. We're still just sitting here doing the same thing, doing songs, talking to ourselves. But we wrote this song almost 3 years ago, like you said. And now that it's 3 years later, I don't know, should we write like a Still the Same Part 2 song? Because it's still the same. We're still just sitting here, even another 3 years later, talking to ourselves and writing some songs. It's just what we do, I guess.
Right. So, yeah, let's roll it.
Okay. And the beers are flowing now, but that also means we're going to be taking more bathroom breaks, so we'll roll the song. We'll probably have to go pee again, won't we?
Probably.
Okay, here we go. Shut up, train.
Yeah, we're trying to roll the damn song. Those train sounds are not actually in this song. It's the fucking train that the microphone's probably picking up.
Yeah, and we're not blaming the microphone. We're blaming the fucking train.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess this is a HeelerZ session in a sense.
Yeah, it's kind of a HeelerZ session. I mean, a HeelerZ spiel, right?
Oh yeah, that's what we used to call them, right?
Yeah. Jeez, we got that old damn thing, didn't we?
Yeah, I guess so. We did forget that for a minute.
But yeah, it's kind of a HeelerZ spiel that we still can't say right.
No, we still can't say that right. HeelerZ spiel. But it's kind of a HeelerZ spiel by accident.
Yeah, it's just whatever this thing turned into. It's the pieceS chapters or segments, whatever the fuck. we said it and wrote it down and typed it down earlier, so good thing we did that because I'm forgetting by now.
Yeah, shit.
God bless recording.
Yeah, got a burp.
Thank you.
Why are you thanking me? You burped.
Well, oh shit, I fucked up. You're right. We probably should have changed the voices on that one, but I'm the one that burped anyway. But that's for both of us.
Thank you.
That's to us from both of us.
Like Christmas present. Oh, here you go. That's from both of us.
Yeah.
So we're on the beer 4. It's on, and we still got a lot to go. And this session's actually almost over. I mean, this chapter. So let's chug that fucker.
All right.
Street theater?
Yes. That burp, the word we used for that burp was briar. And we've done that before. That's kind of actually an old one. We've used that one a lot. And every time we do that one, we always think briar, street theater.
Yeah. Jeez, we're just gross. All we do is sit here and burp, and that's like the best entertainment we have, you know?
Yeah, we probably don't have a whole lot of substance beyond that, beyond just being gross.
Yeah, but, you know, might as well go with it. You know, Gigi did it.
That's true. It's true the songs were...
Yeah, they weren't, like... Some of them were pretty good, but some of them weren't, like, all that spectacular or... in songwriting-wise or sound quality-wise. But, hey, he threw shit at people, and So he used being gross as a big part of his entertainment there.
Yeah. So, and we're not even doing that. All we're doing is burping and thinking about farting. That's as bad as it gets for us.
Right. Yeah, we're not actually gonna take shit out of floor here or nothing.
No, probably not. I don't see that happening.
Unless we get old, maybe.
Yeah, that could happen. Something that equals with my sedation. That kind of makes sense, I think. Okay, I'll stop it right there before it rolls into the next tune, because again, we're kind of fans. When we do our albums, we like to make the songs to where there's like no space in between the songs. We do as much as we can, just let them roll right into each other.
Yeah.
All right, so, okay, anyhow, here we go.
God, that wasn't all the way outside. Keep going.
God. Shit, sorry, you're supposed to cough.
Who cares?
Good point.
Okay, so that was that. I'm starting to get a little buzzed, and plus we smoked some resin, so, at this point, I don't know, man, we want to do now.
End this chapter and start another one?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay. So, we'll be right back for, this was chapter 4 and beer 4. We'll be back for beer 5 and chapter 5 after these messages. Okay, welcome back to what is now chapter 5 and also beer 5.
Crack it open, man. Let's chug it.
Okay.
Okay. Burp time?
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Thanks. I was relieved by you burping.
That's how it works.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so, we're looking at our time here. We're gonna have to, we don't want to let this is probably our final chapter here for tonight. This is, chapter 5. And for the whole segment, which, anyway, we've explained that segment and chapter are kind of the same thing, but that's what we're calling them.
Right.
Okay, so we're not, we don't want to go too much beyond 12 minutes on this one because we were going to include that dream piece narrated by the Jamie voice, right?
Yeah, I think we'll do that. I was almost, we thought of that and I was kind of having some doubts on it, but now I think we're going to do it again.
Yeah. I think this is probably, even aside from our songs, this is just as far as our bullshit segment sessions, whatever you want to call them, go here. I think this is probably like one of the most experimental one of those we've ever done.
Yeah, well, that's the idea. Just trying some new boundaries here, I guess. Some new things. We were dabbling in just writing and narrating a little bit last week, as we'd mentioned earlier, and so we're just trying new shit here. We don't know what the hell it's gonna. We never know when any of this stuff's gonna end up being nonlinear, right?
Yeah.
But fuck it. We're just seeing how this is gonna go.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to hear this whole thing back because we started out with that whole idea. Let's drink a beer, do a session, or do a chapter, drink a beer, do a chapter, and then we got to like chapter 3, and we're like, oh, fuck that. We're going to drink during the chapter instead of in between.
Right.
Okay, so we should get in this pretty quick here, Don.
All right. You're right. So we got, what will probably be our last song lined up for tonight. HeelerZ song, but it's, again, an old tune. This goes back to pre the HeelerZ title, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, before we called ourselves HeelerZ, before there was the Jamie and Zon voice. It used to be called Morning Coffee. We mentioned that before a bunch of times in our past sessions here, segments, whatever. So we're going to play a song now called Dot. Now, this song, Dot is the name of it, but it's also an instrumental version because we actually do have lyrics for this, and we did some experimenting with those lyrics. I think didn't we do one where it was, this is, actually, the lyrics for this song were like one of the closest things ever to a vocal. I'm talking about, the vocal version of this song. But it was the closest thing ever to having, like, the real voice as the vocal.
Yeah, pretty much, yes. And we did still alter it a little bit, but yeah, you're right. It's pretty much the closest thing to it. But obviously, we don't want to play that one.
No one's ever gonna hear that one again.
No, aside from us, no. Even we don't want to hear it. We might even delete it off our own computer. We don't even want to hear that fucking version ever again, probably.
No, probably not. And we did another one that was. Didn't we do another vocal one but we changed? We changed it or pitch shifted it or something, or did we not do that? I don't know.
I want to. I think so. I want to say I remember we did, but I'm not sure. We may have just had this one. Hold on, burp time. Sorry, I'm covering my mouth so it doesn't go onto the computer or into the microphone or anything. But anyhow, not anyway. By the way.
Anyhow, not anyway. By the way.
Yes. So as far, I don't know, we may have done more than 2 versions of this song, but as far as my memory is working right at this moment, all I can remember is that vocal version that we're not going to play, and then we did the instrumental one. And this is back when we used to actually put a little more thought into our bass lines and stuff, so we're going to try to give you an example of that. This is called Dot. It was one of those, the lyrics were just kind of about, like, I think it was just like being in the moment, kind of one of those things, So let's roll that now before we run out of time here. This is Dot by HeelerZ, but before we were called HeelerZ. Oh, and by the way, this is off an album called High Accumulation. It was actually our first album we ever did that was all instrumental, not instrumental, damn it, all original songs. Our first, 8 original song album. I know, I said that's stupid.
It was funny, though.
Well, that's good.
All right, man. Roll it. We got to go here.
All right. And here we go. Dot by us. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. We both had to burp.
Okay.
This is definitely the most random thing we've ever done.
Probably.
I mean, not the song we're playing, but this session.
Yeah, I know what you meant. I mentioned the year. We said a high accumulation. It was a shit. We mentioned this was our first album of original songs, but we didn't mention the name of it, did we?
We might have, but I don't remember. It was an album called High Accumulation. And we first finished that at the end of December, which is December, dummy, of 2004. And then we kind of revamped it again in 2005, and then again in 2010. But we did like a Christmas album before this. Like that was like the only thing we did. That was actually our first album ever. It was a Christmas album, kind of a Christmas album. Some Christmas songs, one or two originals, and then like actually a cover or two.
Yeah, that's right. And that's another thing we've been wanting to do for the last few years is at least an EP or something of just a few covers. We'd like to do some, like, HeelerZ wants to do some cover songs, Usually we don't do that. We usually just do instrumentals. Damn it, why do I keep saying that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But, we've done, by now, I don't know, 8 or so. I mean, HeelerZ has done 6.5 original albums by now. But if you want to count the stuff before we were called HeelerZ, we did this and little Detroit thing, which was kind of a collage of songs over like 6 years. But that's like basically 2 more albums of original shit. And I know I roughed it. But so really that's like 8.5 albums.
Yeah, but we did 5.5 in the last, or 6.5 albums in the last 5.5 years. But it took us like 2 years, damn it. No, we did 6.5 albums in 5.5 years as HeelerZ since January 2014. But we did 2 other albums before we were called HeelerZ. But those 2 albums took like, I don't know, 6 years or something.
2004 actually we started High Accumulation in 2003, so that was 03 up until until 2014, I guess.
Yeah, it's like fucking 11 years to do 2 albums, basically.
Yeah. Okay, that was called Dot. Old song when we used to be called Morning Coffee, and that was the instrumental version. And that's all we're doing there.
Yeah, great. Can you think of anything else to talk about, or are you brain dead?
Well, I would be brain dead if I had a brain.
That's true. Okay, let's chug the rest of this beer, son. We're on beer 5, and we should talk about the next thing we're going to do here.
Yes, let's chug a beer quick, and then we'll mention that.
Okay. And a burp, of course.
Of course.
That was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was.
Let's do a quick hit, too.
All right. Okay, so while we're holding that hit of Resident, we should do outros right now. We're running out of time. I'm Don Martin Richardson. Who are you?
I'm Jamie Robin Richardson, and we are HeelerZ. And we are here also with Beans Love Richardson, our canine companion hero, who is really the glue to this whole thing. I mean, she's our doggy, and she's the one that really... She's our diamond in the rough, obviously. We mentioned that before. But she's the reason we exist. Reason why we still exist.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we're actually gonna close this now, but we're gonna give you one more thing after this, which is we mentioned this earlier. This was a narrative that was a thing that we wrote, and it's narrated by Jamie's voice. And it's about a dream we had last week, and as we mentioned, we might start trying to dabble more in that kind of thing, writing, narrating. We'll see where that goes.
Yep, just another journey. See where it takes us.
Right. So we're gonna say goodnight for now, but then we're gonna actually end it with that. So good night from HeelerZ, good night from us, and please enjoy the following thing, which is what do we call it? Lost Dream. A dream we had on June 17th, 2019. So good night from HeelerZ.
Good night from HeelerZ. And here we go with that.
Lost Dream, June 17th, 2019, between 5 and 8 o'clock p.m. during a nap. Narrated by the voice of Jamie Robin Richardson. Just had a lost adventure dream. Was driving the old van around that in reality has been sitting here in the driveway for the last 7 years. The van started to overheat. Ended up in what was probably an old bicycle I used to have, known as the 442, that I had bought at age 12 from a garage sale back in the day for $4.42. Was in a town called Stager, which was only a few miles away from home. Was trying to find Stager Road, go up to Cottage Grove, and then home. Ended up going down and down and down through these neighborhoods. Some of these areas were not good ones. They painted a picture of much doom and gloom and depressing decay. Got into a few dead ends and then had to fight off a few crazy people by picking up the bike and beating the shit out of them with it as I swung it at them. I hit one guy so hard that it knocked off one of his legs. For a moment it started to seem as though I was starting to enjoy swinging the bike at him, hitting him hard a few times, and finally knocking him to the ground. I was finally winning. I then got back on the bike and rode right over him. After that, the guy somehow got up again and was still coming after me, but this time he had a long rifle shotgun pointed at me. At that point, I knew I was no longer winning, so it was time to pedal hard and get the hell out of there. I had a few dreams before about being in a car with someone else driving, and they were driving right through buildings. In this dream, however, I crashed in and out of a few buildings on the bike, right through the walls the same way. I remember closing my eyes a few times to not let broken glass get into them as it fell down all over me. The areas I was pedaling through became more and more poor and depressing. Couldn't figure out how all this area that was only within a mile or two away from home could have existed without me ever noticing it. But that's how it always seems to be in these lost dreams, and sometimes while lost in real life as well. If I can get lost in real life 8 miles away from home, then damn sure this can happen in a dream. At one point in the dream I thought, this is like playing the old game Pitfall, where there seemed to be no end to it. A few minutes before the dream ended, I started telling myself to wake up. That has been something that's been happening a lot lately, where I know, or at least I'm pretty sure I know I'm dreaming in the dream. I can usually tell because there's this darkness and or fogginess in my vision and in my head, and I'm pretty sure it will end once I wake up. Almost felt like I was waking up at one point, but I must have fallen back to sleep and the dream kept going. That too has been happening more lately, where I wake up, fall back asleep, and the same dream continues. Finally, I got to this old church. Some old people was standing outside, and I asked this old lady if I could go in. At first she said no, like I didn't belong there, but then allowed it after I explained to her that I was lost and just trying to find my way home. Once in the church, I then proceeded to ride my bike up this creepy hallway that had a couple of stairs, a flat spot, a couple of stairs, pattern, gradually going upwards more and more. It was a weird, creepy hallway, like right out of a creepy movie, with old fluorescent lights, some of which were broken. The stairs were lined with what looked like old Berber carpeting from a restaurant from the 60s or 70s. Finally got to the top of the stairs and saw what looked like an old laundromat. Immediately, the laundromat became this dark bus stop. It reminded me of my trip to Millennial Station last November that I took on the Metro train. I didn't even know it was a bus stop until someone had led me onto something that I finally realized was a bus. Someone on the bus introduced me to this younger, pretty boy-looking dude. I shook hands with him. Didn't know who he was, but I thought to myself, maybe he's a guy. I then realized that I had boarded the bus without the bike. I saw what I thought was the bike parked next to the bus through the bus window outside. And just as the bus started moving, I asked the bus driver, who was this old lady with white hair, to please stop and let me go out and get my bike. The driver said she didn't see the bike. I looked out the window again, and what I thought was the bike turned out to be an old beat-up shopping cart just sitting there. At this point, I'm pretty sure I knew in the dream that this happens all the time in my dreams, where I lose the car, then the bike, and sometimes I end up just walking aimlessly with no direction. So I said, screw it, hopefully I'll finally get home now on this bus. The bus seemed to be going up Stager Road towards Cottage Grove, which in reality is in the right direction home. I started thinking again that I'm dreaming again, and I just need to wake up, which is another thing that's been happening, where I know I'm dreaming and I try to get myself to wake up in the dream. Never did make it home in the dream, which always never happens in dreams, but then made myself open my eyes in the dream, and the dream ended. Finally, laying on my bed on my back, I saw the ceiling fan in my bedroom, and I was finally home. Once I was really awake, I went on Facebook, and the first thing I saw was a post from my niece Lorraine about Zdzisław Bezinski, a name I'm sure I'm pronouncing wrong, who was a Polish artist who immortalized his apocalyptic nightmares in paintings. I've never been religious, but this has to be the most religious dream I've ever had.